When I was a lot younger, my mother used to tell me to not be so hard on myself, and I tended to do that quite a bit. And I recall she said one thing that I forgot until more recently. I just remembered it, and she said, I think it's a popular phrase, so she didn't make it up, but she just told me something she had heard because it applied in my case. It probably applies to many of us, and that is, she said, the reason angels can fly is that they take themselves so lightly. And I think when you really meditate on that, there is power in taking yourself lightly. And what I mean by that, often we have so much pressure that we put on ourselves, so much expectation, so much we feel is riding on us achieving a certain outcome. And in turn, a lot of fear, trepidation, and anxiety around failing ourselves, failing others. And so this could be a big source of frustration, source of tension in many people's lives. And so, my saying it is not going to help you, just as when my mother had said it didn't really help me. But I remembered it after doing a lot of work on myself and relieving a lot of the sources of that tension. That's really the key. Anybody could tell you, hey, take it easy. And we've heard it all the time. Hey, relax, take it easy. It never works, because all those pieces of advice don't address where the frustration, where the tension, where the stress is coming from inside of us. And that's why, really, I keep harping on awareness, because awareness has that power. Awareness is what can allow you to do that. You can override what's happening by some affirmation, some kind of self-talk where you say, hey, I'm just going to take it easy, I'm just going to ignore these things. That's not helpful. Not helpful if you want to do deep healing. It might give you a temporary help, and maybe that's suitable in some circumstance where you need to temporarily change your mindset to get through some task. But in terms of deeper healing, we have to see what's really going on in ourselves. And so I want to invite you to really go into those sources of tension in your life. Go into the stress that's going on. And what happens, I observe in myself and a lot of people, is we get so caught up in trying to alleviate that tension or fulfill what we think we desire, which is causing that tension. So, for example, I really want to achieve some goal, and there's all this fear and anxiety around not achieving it. So a lot of people, they just tend to focus on the task in hand and what they're trying to do instead of drawing their awareness to how it's affecting them. What's their emotional state? What's their psychological state? What's internally happening inside of them? And that's the power of awareness that can allow you to do that. Taking it easy. It's easy to say, a lot harder to do. But if we go into the sources of stress and anxiety and frustration in our lives, we can what you say, put a light on it. Put a big spotlight on what's going on inside of us. That's what awareness does. And by putting a spotlight on it, we can truly see what's causing it. What's at the heart of it. That's the real power. When you really look at what's happening, when you allow yourself to really see, that's when you begin to empower yourself with a real plan that will allow you to implement the shifts you want in your life. I mean, how can you solve something when you don't really know what the problem is? And that's the problem. We're so caught up in trying to get rid of a problem, we haven't really understood what it is. It's fascinating, and yet it's happening in so many instances in our life. What's really inspired me to sit down and talk about this is because I've spent a lot of time conversing with people that are really hard on themselves. They really, even though with awareness, they think they could be a lot more aware. They feel that they're just not aware enough. And all that is coming from someplace. And if they don't allow themselves to get distracted by what they think they need or what outcome they think they need to fulfill, and see what's behind the curtain. You see what I mean? We often just get distracted by what we think we want, but if we see what's behind the curtain, what's prompting us to engage in these forms of compensations, the emotional turmoil that's behind all these types of activities that we engage in. If we can allow ourselves to sit in that, that's where the real healing can occur. And I hope that we can allow ourselves to take it easy. It's happened for me. I can tell you it's really powerful because I've been really hard on myself, and it's only when I allow myself to go into that, to go into the source of all this tension and frustration in my own self, was I capable of alleviating it. You have to go into the rabbit's hole, if you will. You've got to be willing to go into the comfort and allow yourself to experience it. So the way to ease is through the unease. So I wish you an easy path. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.